In this episode, I have a conversation with a guy named Kameron Dickman who started with almost no knowledge mechanically about cars and worked his way into building some cool stuff, and he's building a traditional Model T coupe right now. So welcome to the 64 and Before show. I'm your host, John, and this is a show where we talk about traditional hot rods, customs, and the stories that go with them. Give me a little grace. My audio got a little funky. I promise it'll be better next time. It'll sound like this instead of like what you're about to hear, but I don't think it'll be too distracting. So let's get into this conversation. Let's start with simple stuff. Start with your name, where you're from, what does your life look like now, and we'll go from there.
Well, my name is Kameron Dickman. My shop is called Hopeless Hot Rods. And I started because my best friend got a DUI. We had to sell our motorcycle. I lost my motorcycle buddy, so I decided to sell mine. He got put on house arrest, so I needed something to keep myself busy. So I bought the only vehicle I could find on Facebook Marketplace that the guy would deliver it to me. I didn't have anything to get it delivered. He sold me a 1955 International R110 for $2,000 delivered from
That's a truck?
Yeah, and he drove 4 hours one way to drop it off to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those people are so nice.
Yeah, and then when I got the truck, I didn't know a coil from an oil filter. Like, I didn't know anything about hot rods. Yeah.
Well, how long ago was this?
This was 8 years ago now, right around 8 years.
Did you have like wrenching experience and any mechanical experience?
Very, very little. I didn't have any family that was into it. The most I had was my brother was into basic repairs. So oil changes, alternators, batteries, tie rod ends, stuff like that. Just super simple.
Basic undercar stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
And my first vehicle was an '89 Ford Bronco 2 that I bought from my uncle for $900.
Yeah.
And it had kind of some surface rust all over it, no like holes or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I decided that I wanted to try to paint it. So I went over the whole thing with like a green Scotch-Brite that you buy from Walmart. It wasn't even like
wash your dishes.
Yeah. I went over the whole thing with that. I washed it with soap and water and bought 8 cans of like Krylon primer.
As your paint job.
Yeah, it was
right on.
It was rough. But
gotta start somewhere.
Yep.
If you don't start, you never get going.
Yeah, I graduated to a 94 Honda Civic after that. Decided I wanted to try to put a hood scoop on it.
Okay.
Go well.
Yeah. So you played around with some more recent cars and then bought the old International. That was your first old thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, getting my license in what year did I get my license? It was like 2000.
Well, we're the same age. We're both 34 for the listeners.
I think it was 2006, 2007. I got my license somewhere in there.
That's about right.
And the Fast and the Furious was in full swing back then.
I was right there too.
We were only on like the 3rd movie back then.
Yeah, no, I had my Honda rice burner stage too, and my first car was a '92 Accord.
Yeah, spent $70 on some red swoosh decals to throw on the side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rice.
That was the times. Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the reasons like I wanted to talk about like where'd you come from and how'd you get here, because like young people like us.
Yeah.
Like that's where we start, just naturally, like in the time frame.
I really wish I had some cool 4th generation hot rodder. Grandpa was into street racing. It's like, nope.
Not everybody has that, and that was another point I want to make with this thing is like you don't have to have great grandpa and grandpa were hot rodders and to
Yeah.
do this stuff. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
At
that.
at some car shows, I'll get some, like, I'm an hour and a half away from home, so
Okay.
at some car shows around here, I'll still get some guys from my hometown every once in a while,
Yeah.
and it's like I want to sit down and talk to them and get the stories of hot rodding history from my hometown, but it's always like,
Yeah.
oh, I gotta run. I'll catch you next time, but I want to get these stories from you.
I know
And
you got to get those phone numbers.
yeah, I'm still waiting to hear some of these stories from early
Yeah.
Boscobel, Wisconsin hot rod history.
That'd be really cool, and that's one of the things that I gravitate toward being like a Michigander. The Midwest hot rodding stuff is super intriguing to me. It was
Yeah.
like everything was so weird because nobody was really in. Like you might have had a couple guys doing it around you, but it wasn't like SoCal where everybody was hot
Yeah,
rodding at the same time. They were going off like magazine articles and stuff.
yeah, and you got
I find
the
that really
shifters
interesting.
showing up on the scene and starting the
Yeah,
car club thing, and
yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, so you bought this International and started learning car stuff.
Yep, I dove in. I went to school for auto body, and I was working
Okay,
in my second shop at the time, and
okay,
a lot of the guys that I was working with um, were into muscle cars. They were into that 70s muscle car era.
yeah,
So when I got my first old vehicle, I had a guy that I could call, and every time I had some sort of a question, I'd call or message him, and he was super helpful.
yeah.
And um, I spent 2 months trying to get that truck to run, and
Okay,
I don't know how many questions I asked him, and I got it to fire one time, and
yeah.
it just chugged smoke, and it never ran again after that.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it
Man,
ran one time for about 8 seconds.
what did it have in it?
And
Old six cylinder or something?
yeah, it was Silver Diamond Straight Six that International called it. And
Wow, that's quite a name. I love that.
yeah, yeah, it had a cool name, but they didn't do anything like the old car manufacturers where they would stamp Spitfire or something cool like
Yeah,
that on the top of the head. There
yeah.
was nothing cool about it.
Oh, so they just called it that. It wasn't branded or
Yeah, they
anything
just
like
called it a
that.
Silver Diamond.
Oh boy.
Um, but then after I couldn't get it running, or I got it running for 8 seconds and then never got it running
Yeah.
again, I was throwing plugs, wires, coils, starter solenoids, all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. I was throwing the book at it.
The parts
And
cannon.
yep, and finally my I call him my Mr. Miyagi. He
Yeah.
told me, he said, do a compression test on it. And I was like, the shop that I was working in, I should probably give you a little detail on that.
Yeah,
It
sure.
was a car and a half, uninsulated. You could
Yeah.
push on the walls and make the whole shop move.
Oh yeah.
It, yeah, when like living in this house, we were throwing some stuff up in the rafters, and I would climb up in the rafters. My buddy would hand me the stuff. You could feel the whole garage moving. Like it had one
Yeah.
light right in the center. There was one outlet, so
Yeah,
it
man.
was
That's starting from the
work,
ground up.
working with the door open. You could maybe see, and he
Nice.
told me do a compression test on it, and I was like, I don't have a compression tester.
Yeah.
And he's like, swing down by the shop. I'll let you
Mm.
borrow mine. So I borrowed it and did a compression test, and um, I think three of the cylinders were dead and one was hurt.
Oh, rough.
So
Yeah.
engine was junk.
She wasn't
And
going anywhere.
yeah, so I told him, I was like, can you come pick this truck up and just tow it to the
Uh-huh.
junkyard? I'm done with it. I've thrown too much money at it. I've gotten nowhere.
Yeah.
It's been like 2.5 months, and I was like, I'm just done. Take it to the scrap.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you can have whatever it brings for hauling it for me. And he's like, hold on, calm down.
Yeah.
He said, give me a day. And I was like, all right, I don't know what you're going to do, but whatever. And
Yeah.
he called me back in 45 minutes. And he said, I got you a donor truck. It's my cousin's.
Oh.
It's a 79 F-150, F-100, F-150. I don't know when they switched.
Okay.
He said it's got a Ford 300 in it. He said you
All
can
right.
take whatever. He said whatever you can take whatever you need to get your truck running and driving. He said $200. I'll bring it to you.
Wow.
After you take everything that you need, I'll
Yeah.
just call me. I'll come pick it up. And I was
All
like,
right.
I don't have $200. He's like, pay him when you can. And I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
at that
know.
price, it ain't a big deal for the guy.
Yeah, I couldn't even pay my friend that I was living with for rent.
Yeah.
I would pay him by working on his Jeep.
Yeah.
And like, he had a rusty Jeep Cherokee, and like I cut out some rusty floor pans and just like
Yeah.
self-tapered some sheet metal, and I drilled some holes to plug weld it. I
Yeah.
didn't completely scab it together.
Oh.
But yeah, that's how much money I
Yeah.
had at this point in my life.
Well, those guys helping you out were throwing you a
Yeah.
bone. And
Yeah,
they,
absolutely.
they wanted
he's like,
you to keep going.
yeah, he said, you're a young kid trying to get into hot rodding.
Yeah.
I want to try to help you.
Yeah.
So he brought me the truck, and I didn't give him any money right away because I didn't have any. And
Mhm.
I got to pulling out the engine and transmission,
Yeah.
and it was just studying because I'd never done it before. I was like, what do I need to get out of my way to get this engine and transmission out? And
Yeah.
it was, I think these bolts got to come out, and then the back of the fender was loose, and all right. And then I started taking the front apart, and I got like the front half, like one half of the grill off, and then I found two bolts, and I was like, wait a second, if I pull these two bolts out, that just undoes the whole radiator support. And I was like, so if I do this on the other fender, pull these two
Yeah.
out, next thing I know, I'm taking the whole front
Yeah.
clip off. That was so much easier.
You started taking
And-
apart the big Lego pieces.
Yeah, and on internationals, on this
Yeah.
body style anyways, the hoods aren't bolted on. There's
what?
handles either side. So if you pull one handle, it flips up this
okay.
way. If you pull the other handle, it flips up this
Huh.
way. If you pull both of them, you just take it off.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So I had that whole front clip off in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Not
that
so
night
bad.
I had the engine and transmission out, and I felt like freaking Hercules.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I
That's a big
don't even
deal.
want to work. This is so cool.
Yeah.
And yep, then we pushed that truck out, pushed the 79 in, and
Yep.
got that engine and transmission out. It was a 300 carbureted with
Yep.
a I think it had a C6 in it,
Okay,
transmission.
well, automatic. Yep.
Yep. And got it out, and then brought the International back in, and I went to call my my buddy John, my Mr. Miyagi,
Yeah.
and I said, hey, I'm done with that truck. You can come pick it up anytime. And he's like, I was just thinking about it. That truck has a 9-inch in it too.
Mm.
He goes, you might as well take
Yeah,
that also.
take
And
that.
I was like, well, how much more does he want for the 9-inch? Because I know those are worth a penny or two.
Yeah.
And he said, just throw your old rear end underneath the truck and ratchet strap it in so we can at least roll it
Yeah,
around.
just to roll it.
Yeah, so he gave me the 9-inch out of
Heck
it.
yeah, man.
The only thing his cousin wanted off of this truck was the body. That was the
Okay.
only thing I wasn't allowed to take was the body.
Perfect deal then.
Yep. So
Cool.
over the course of the next probably 6 months, I got the engine and transmission in. I didn't know anything about setting angles or pinions or anything like that. And I made my own engine mounts.
Okay.
I didn't even buy like a universal kit.
So so at this point, did you have more like body and metal experience to do that type of stuff,
No.
like making your own mounts, or you just figuring that stuff out too?
It took me like 2 weeks to make a mount.
Yeah.
And it was the most god
All
awful
right. Hey.
mount. I took some 4x4 square tubing, and
Yeah.
I made a mount out of that with the existing mount, and I welded
Okay.
it right to the frame.
Yeah.
To get the
It
engine
sounds like
back
it was
out,
mounted.
yeah, to get the engine back out, I had to cut the mounts later on
Yeah.
in the story.
Okay.
And yeah, I over the next like 6 months, I got it running and took my first drive down the road,
Yeah.
and about killed my girlfriend
Oh no.
because the
Not great.
the brake pedal. First time driving it, she hopped in the
Yeah.
seat with me, and the brake pedal caught on one of the ears of the transmission,
Oh
so
no.
it
Oh
wouldn't go
no.
down. And I'm coming up to a stop sign, and I put both feet on it and just gave it everything I had,
Yeah.
and then it slipped off the ear and just locked up all the brakes.
Oh my
I'm going
gosh.
like 30 miles an hour, and
Yeah.
all the brakes lock up, and her head came. It had to
Oh
have been an
no.
inch away from that metal dash.
Yeah, those things don't move either.
And she didn't leave me. Somehow she didn't leave me.
I guess that was a good test, whether you meant to do it or
Yeah,
not.
she came from like a fifth generation racing family. So
Oh wow. Okay.
she grew up around
Yeah.
men wrenching. And
So that was not
so
a super big surprise.
she kind of understood. I mean, it's
Yeah.
obviously a little frightening for both of us. Like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
just built this, and I do have our lives in my hand.
Yeah, and it don't want to stop.
Yep. And
Yeah.
but that's she was super supportive about like how I was
Mm.
out in the shop every night working on this
Yeah.
thing. And so anyways, back to driving it for the first time. I got it
Yeah.
home, and I wanted to park it on the street that night to show off like, hey, it runs now. It's not just in the garage. So I'm gonna park it on the road.
Yeah.
Parked it on the street, and that night a storm blew through,
Huh.
and a big ass tree fell on it.
Oh no.
Just
Oh my
crunched it.
gosh.
And luckily I had it insured.
Okay,
I
good.
over-insured it
Yep.
and took it to the shop I was working at, and it was totaled.
Yeah.
So, but after I found out it
Man.
was totaled, I retained it. So I got to keep the
Yeah.
truck, and I got a check for the remaining value in it,
Yeah.
and ended up taking that check to a big swap meet around us that's called Jefferson.
Okay.
And there I ended up buying a Camaro stub, a front end
Uh,
rebuild kit. I bought a
yeah.
4 barrel intake and a Holly 395. So kind of a blessing in disguise
Where did the tree hit the truck?
everywhere.
Just the
The
whole truck.
the trunk of the tree landed on the bed, and one of the biggest limbs landed on the cab.
Oh, yeah, I
So
see now.
the whole top of the cab was bird
Yeah.
bathed. The
Oh,
driver's side bed rail was bent down. When I got it up on the frame rack, the driver's side rear frame rail was a foot lower than the passenger side.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So,
It
but
got that deep into the truck. That's crazy.
luckily I had access to a frame rack,
Yeah.
and got it up on the frame rack and pulled
Yeah.
it back straight.
Wow.
Because
Hey, if it
luckily
bent
back
one
then
way,
they
it can
didn't.
bend back.
Yeah, they didn't have high strength steel or anything like
No,
that back then. So
stuff
it
was
was
meant
just,
to move around.
yep. So I got it back in the right spot, and
Yeah.
that winter, me and a friend of mine, we lopped the front end off it and grafted a Camaro front stub.
Yeah.
And again, back to not knowing anything about what I'm doing.
Yep.
I just
Well,
knew, and then like with the 4 barrel carburetor in the intake, I just knew on some Ford 300 pages that they run way better with a 4 barrel on
uh-huh.
them. So I decided to put it on there,
Yeah.
and
And was it true?
the thing drove straight as an arrow.
Nice.
Yeah. That next, and then I notched the back end of it, and it was
Yeah.
low. It was
Dropped it.
stupid low.
think that was one of the pictures you sent me after the rebuild where it's all painted and stuff.
That was after like the
Is that a
fifth
different
rebuild.
truck?
No, that's
Oh,
the
okay.
same truck. But
But it
this
was
truck,
low. I saw the thing was on the ground.
that was after I raised it up about 3 inches. When I
Okay.
drove it, when
Yeah,
I
'cause
drove it from my friend's house to my house after we were done rebuilding it that winter,
mhm.
the first bridge I went over, another friend of mine was following me home because he took me out there,
Yeah.
and he said after the bridge, he was like, "Is it supposed to throw sparks?" And I was like, it was throwing sparks. Luckily,
Yeah.
I did know enough to make sure that my oil pan was above the frame
Oh
rails,
yeah.
and
So you learned a
it was
lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was my fender bottoms and my running boards that were throwing sparks.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But the
It'll happen,
bridge
I guess.
wasn't, yeah, the bridge wasn't even anything spectacular. It wasn't anything that made you like, oh, this is gonna hurt. Like it was just a normal bridge.
So this international, obviously, big like entry point for you into the old car stuff.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it was my learning curve.
Little gateway drug learning curve.
Yep.
But I know you've apparently done a lot since then, because I see pictures of other cars on your Instagram and stuff that you
Yep.
sent me too. So like, what beyond the truck, uh, are you like? What's one of the standout cars after the
My
truck?
favorite car that I have done to date was I helped my friend George build his 48 Pontiac.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, he lives down in Madison, and he had a 48 Pontiac already, and it was on an 86 Caprice chassis, but
okay,
he drove this thing everywhere, and it
yeah,
was falling apart. Like, and when I say falling apart, I ain't kidding.
yeah,
So
okay,
him and his dad ended up finding another 48 Pontiac body out of
okay,
Oklahoma, and
yeah,
he was living in an apartment in Madison, and I had just sold my truck to build my
mm,
shop. So I didn't have
okay,
anything lined up or anything like that, or any money to build anything of my own because I just built this
yeah,
shop, and
right,
I had a lot more tools at this point.
uh huh,
I had a couple more cars underneath my belt, so a little bit more experience. So I told
yeah,
him, I was like, bring it up to my shop. I said, I know it's a bitchin' car. It's
yeah.
people are gonna pay attention to it. So bring it
That's
up
the one that
here.
caught
And
my attention out of the pictures that
yeah,
you sent
it's
me.
the one that gets everybody's attention.
Yeah,
So I told him, I said, bring it up here. Let's build it in my shop.
yeah,
And he was like, he asked me, he's like, how much do you want for it? And I was like, for him using
yeah,
the shop to build it. And I was
sure,
like, I just want to be able to say that I helped build it.
yeah.
So
Very
he,
valid. Starting
and
something out.
he's 2.5 hours away from my house,
Okay,
and I would work on it during the week. I'd probably work on it 3, 4 days a week, and then he
yeah,
would come up every weekend for the whole duration of building that car, and
okay,
we'd work on it all weekend.
yeah,
And now I don't have a hoist or anything like that, so taking bodies off cars is kind of sketchy. I use an
yeah, definitely.
engine hoist in the back, and
Yeah,
then I lift up the front enough to slide it. I got a big pipe that I put underneath the
okay,
front end, and then I put a
yep,
jack under both sides, and I lift up the front and
hey,
simultaneously lift up the back.
yeah, sure. Sounds like it works.
And the new body that he got, it it was like a dance. It was perfect. It came off great. We got it
Wow.
set on a body cart that I made,
Uh
but then lifting up the old body was
huh. Oh boy.
that was sketchy to say the least.
Yeah.
Like there was still enough of the firewall structure left that I didn't have to worry up there, but in the back, he
Yeah.
had old stock car like panels that were self-tapered on the floor. So we took
Okay.
those out and then we just put a pipe between the quarter panels,
Yeah.
and that's what we connected the
Oh
engine
yeah.
hoist to. And
Okay.
as we're lifting this thing up, we can hear it crunching. and I saw the door gaps, and the only thing that was holding that body together was the doors still being shut. If we would have opened the
Oh my
doors, it
gosh.
would have folded. And
Yeah.
so we get the body up in the air, and we have to roll the chassis out from underneath it. And as we're rolling the chassis out, the rear quarters and inner quarters start crumbling, and then it starts listing to the passenger
Oh
side.
no.
Like, we need to hurry up before this thing falls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as fast as we could, we got the chassis out from underneath it, and then we had to get that chassis out of the way and then put the chassis from the other 48 underneath that one. So while we're
Yeah.
switching chassis around, we lowered it as close as we could to the ground. In
Yeah.
case it did fall, it didn't fall that far.
Right. Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, nobody lost any digits or anything like that.
Good.
So
Yeah.
it was successful, I guess.
So the car I'm looking at, I got the picture pulled up over here.
Yep.
That's the body that you found in Oklahoma on his Caprice frame that the other car was
That's
put
the
together
teal
with.
one.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
patina and like
Yep.
the UFO caps. Yeah.
Yeah, the other 48, if you go back further in his pictures, you can see the
Uh-huh.
original 48, and that
Okay.
one it was just rust. The
Yeah.
color was
This
just rust.
this is a nice hard patina, it looks like.
Oh yeah, that's we got actually Sweet Patina got a hold of us
Mm,
and gave us a free kit to use their
nice.
Sweet Patina like gloss on it. So
Yeah.
he did it all up with that. He scrubbed it down with I think he used a mild Scotch Brite pad and just water, and just kind of brought some of the color back, and then went over it with that Sweet
Yeah.
Patina, and that was the ticket.
Yeah. And it kind of keeps it the way it was and
Yeah,
not gets any worse.
he eventually he wants to body work like the roof and do a roof panel on it with
Yeah.
some like sun drops and stuff like that on it.
Oh,
But
okay.
as for right now, that thing is gorgeous the way it
Yeah.
is.
I think it looks cool. It's definitely like an eye-catching car.
Yeah, and he drives the wheels off that thing. So
Yeah.
he
It's
lives in
cool, even cooler.
yeah, he lives in Madison, Wisconsin, so south of Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and he drives it on the Kentucky Blitzkrieg Bourbon Run every year. So he's driving it down to Louisville.
Yeah.
When I first met him, I would just call him to see if he wanted to hang out, and I decided to drive the car to Oklahoma this weekend. Like that's how
That
much he
sounds
drives.
awesome.
Yeah, that's how much he drives this car.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And
Good for him.
like my kid's birthday, he just surprised me and showed up. Like 2.5
Yeah.
hours away, he told me he was gonna be in Iowa for his goddaughter's birthday,
Yeah.
and he surprised me by showing up. I was like, I thought you had another birthday. He's like, yeah, I already went to that one. So he
Yeah.
drove from his house like 3.5 hours to another
Yeah.
birthday party, and then 3 hours up to my house, and then 2.5 hours back
Man.
home. He's
He
like,
didn't
that's
hit
just
enough.
Saturday for him.
He didn't put enough miles on that day, I guess.
Yeah, he just keeps going. Like
Yeah.
stuff like that all the time.
That's cool. So Pontiac, cool car, cool
Yep.
story. I don't know what I know. I see the Model T sitting behind you. I know a little bit about that,
Sweetie.
but we'll get there. What is what else is like? How did you get from that, like, not necessarily like a full car build, but like starting working on these old cars to now I'm building a traditional hot rod, like period type thing? What were like some stepping stones between that?
When I first started, it was the rat rods. I
Yeah,
loved rat rods, but
yeah,
then I
they were
my
a big
taste,
big deal for a while.
yeah, and then you don't like what you don't know.
Yeah,
So
that very well put.
my buddy George opened my eyes a lot to me with hot rods.
Okay.
And then he started introducing me into, like, I remember calling his car a rat rod, and it's not a
Yeah,
rat rod.
he corrected you immediately, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
He said
good
it's a
man.
traditionally inspired hot rod. And I was
Yeah,
like, he's
love
like,
that.
just because it's not painted doesn't make it a rat rod. And
Yep.
I was like, all right, all right.
Amen.
And he started opening my eyes to the pre-war, the
Oh,
Model
cool.
A's and the
Yeah.
old Plymouths and stuff like that. And I d- it took me forever, and I don't know now that I know it. I don't know why it took me so long to learn the difference between a 28, 29, 30, 31
Oh, yeah,
Model
it's
A.
easy.
Oh, dude, it took me so long. It was
Yeah, I don't know.
ridiculous.
I
And
grew up with one of them always in the garage, so I probably just knew it from birth. But
yep.
anyway.
So I fell in love with Model A sedans,
Hey,
and
I like
they're
those.
they're bitchin' cars,
Yeah.
but this the opportunity arose for me to get the Model T
Yeah.
because um, I had a car. I had a '50 Oldsmobile that I took on trade from somebody, and the body on that thing was just roached. But
Yeah.
it had the original 303 rocket in it, which
Oh,
made it
yeah.
kind of cool. And I
Definitely.
did some pretty unspeakable things to that body just to doll it up for a
Yeah.
season. Like I was
Yeah.
shoving
Church it up a little.
Oh, I was shoving paper towels in holes and then filling them over with mud
Yeah.
and um, just to make it look good for one season. And then
Yeah.
I just sprayed some sealer over it to make it all
Yep.
one color. And then I found a guy on Facebook that was willing to trade me his project
Oh,
for my running, driving '50 Oldsmobile.
yeah.
And
Okay.
he was from way up north, and turned out my mom and my brother were already heading up that way to go on a little camping expedition. I was like, well, would you
Okay.
guys mind? This was the weekend that my daughter was born, actually.
Oh, wow.
And I said, so I couldn't go get it. So I said,
Right. No,
would you mind
definitely.
taking my car up here and picking up another one for me? And
Yeah.
yeah, sure, no problem, whatever. So the same day that we came home with my daughter, the Model T was sitting in my driveway. So
Wow.
we gained two family members that
That's
day.
awesome. Easy day to remember.
Yeah, yeah. So I've had
That's
it
cool.
for about 2.5 years now.
Okay. Yeah. And your daughter as well, then.
Yep, yep.
Two
She's
and a
two
half
and a half
years
years
old.
old.
It's
Yep.
awesome. So in
But
these 2.5 years, you looks like you've done some stuff to this Model T. What did it look like when you got it?
so it had a 44 dropped front axle.
Okay.
It had a bare bones Chevy 348 W big block in it.
All right.
But it was like there was no pistons, no rods, no cam.
Yeah.
It was a
Just a
bare
block.
block with a set of heads on it and a triple carb intake with Rochesters. Um,
Yeah. Somebody was
and
trying to do a hot rod.
yeah, and
Okay.
that's and the way that it was set up, it was a roller. So I was like, this is a great foundation. It was already chopped.
Oh,
They already
nice.
made floors and put in it, and
Yeah.
so when I got it, I was like, oh yeah, this is. I decided that I wanted to build a Model T coupe because I
Uh-huh.
don't like the way that almost anybody builds them. So
Yeah. Hey.
my goal is to prove to people that they can be cool.
Yeah. And that's cool, man. You see something that you think you can do better, and you do it.
Yeah, there's people that ask me like, why did you choose the Model T coupe? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, I didn't really choose it. It kind of chose me,
Yeah.
but I want like again, I just want to prove that you can make these cool. You don't have to leave all of them tall T's and
Right.
put, fender exit headers on them
Yeah.
or stupid side pipes or like
Right.
I don't like the way that anybody builds the dang
You
things.
don't like those cartoony looking
Yeah,
built. And I mean,
the
some of that
Munster
is
looked
like a later era too, but
yeah.
I think it's cool. Like, so, like, what I know you got a Y block for it.
Yep.
Um, what's your like time period target for the build? Do you have something like that in mind?
So the newest part, well, the newest inspired part on it is going to
Yeah.
be the 9 inch is from '59.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a
Oh, we're
50s.
still in there.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
But I traded out the Ford front end for a SoCal front end. I
Okay.
guess backpedaling a little bit. Uh, I helped a friend of mine build his Model A,
Okay.
and when he got it, it was running, driving, completely stock,
Yeah.
and he had just gotten rid of his radical chopper that was the thing was 16 feet long from
Oh my
tire to
gosh,
tire. It was necked way the heck out.
that's
And
really long.
he sold that because he wanted to get into something that the whole family could enjoy. So he got
Yeah.
I think it's a 50 Lincoln. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah, and it's four
Big
doors,
car. Yeah.
suicide doors, on
Yep.
air rides, got a small block
Oh,
Ford in it,
yeah.
and they haul their camper with it and stuff. Very cool
That,
car.
that's cool. Yeah.
But he needed dad's hot rod. Like just got rid of the chopper, so he needs a real hot rod. So
Right.
he bought 30 Model A coupe, all
Okay.
stock, and
Yeah.
first thing he did to it was took all the fenders off it. So
Yeah.
first thing for a hot rod, take the fenders off it,
Of course.
and then this was like early fall that he was taking his fenders off and stuff like that. I think he took it to one show, and then he brought it in here and we ended up chopping it. And I
Oh
was,
yeah.
we're looking at my Model T and looking at his car, and the Model T is way down the road. And the
Yeah.
Model T that I'm building is, I call it traditionally inspired.
Yeah.
It's not true traditional because I took the 40 Ford front axle off it and went with
Uh huh.
SoCal. And, I'm
Yeah,
putting
but yeah,
modern parts in it.
we can still
First,
call it traditional, I think.
but his car is real Henry Ford steel. Like it doesn't get
Act
any more
like
traditional
that's
than that.
that's where I go. Like, this is hardcore traditional. Like,
Yeah.
all the
So
parts are old and
yeah,
it's
I
it's a
decided that
next level.
that front end belonged on his car,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
so he's still got the banger in it. He's got
Nice.
a different intake for the banger. He's gonna put a Stromberg or
Yeah.
a Holly 94 on it,
Yeah. That's what I got
and
on mine.
yep, and then put a side pipe on it, and have some
Sweet.
fun with it.
I love that.
Um, and we chopped it 6 inches.
Okay.
It, he wanted me to go
Big
7.
haircut.
Yeah, he wanted to go
Oh
7. And I
no,
was like,
seven's too much.
that's why he wanted 7. And I was like, let's go 5. I said, it's
Yeah.
so much easier to cut more off than it is to put back on. So I was
True.
like, let's go 5, and if you want it down more, we'll cut it down more.
Yeah.
He's like, let's compromise at 6. And I said, I'll cut it 5 3/4,
Yeah.
so we have an extra quarter of an inch to grind it
So you
down.
can say you didn't do 6.
Yep. So we cut it 5 3/4. I tell people it's a 6-inch chop, but cut it
Yeah.
5 3/4, and the gaps were perfect.
Oh, right on.
Like it sat down and it was ready to
Yeah.
weld. So I was like,
Don't touch it.
I guess we're doing 5 3/4.
Yeah. Man, tell everyone it's a 5 3/4 chop. Why not?
6-inch sounds bigger.
I like that. I love a Model A and keeping the banger. I don't know. Maybe it's
Oh.
the cheap Dutchman in me, but I like a banger just because there's something
It's
different.
so nothing makes you feel cooler than going to a weekend-long car show and
Yeah.
driving back and forth between your parking spot and your camper to get beers in that little
Yes. Oversized golf cart.
yeah, the crowd parts and everybody just watches you, and like
Yeah, I bet.
with it being chopped that much, you're all hunched over and still
Yeah.
got the original steering wheel in it, so you're looking between
Oh,
the,
it's
the
like
window
touching the
frame and the
ceiling.
steering wheel. Yeah, you got your arm hanging out the window, like you
Yeah,
feel
that's
like a
cool.
real badass when you're
Like a
driving that car.
gangster. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about your period inspired build. Given that, like, where are you at with everything on the car right now?
So right now it's actually about to go into storage,
Okay.
because summer is for my stuff, winter is for making money. Because
All right.
winters
Yep.
winters pay for summers.
Okay.
So right now, this I've been on it for I've been on it hard for the last month and a half, maybe knocking on the door of 2 months,
Okay.
and all the holes are filled. So I made the firewall for it. I made all the floors for it. Oh, so I remember where we were.
Yeah. Let's go there.
All the stuff that I changed on the damn thing since I bought it.
Yeah.
So I thought that I was getting a car that I was happy with where it was at. So
Okay.
like looking at the pictures and stuff, I was like, oh, this thing's so bitchin'. Like, it's exactly what I want. And
Yeah.
then it got home, and of course, you know, I've got my horse blinders on, thinking this thing is just so cool.
Oh yeah. Been there.
Um, it showed up the beginning of August, and then I had my birthday party. I threw a shop party in September, and
Okay.
some friends came over, some friends that have been in the hot rod game much longer than I have.
All
And
right.
of course, we're all standing around drinking beers, and then it was, oh, you should, when they chopped it, they just took it all out of the same level. They're like, oh, you need to open
Yeah.
up the back window a little bit, and that's going to look
Right.
so much better. And it was
Do
like,
some staggered cuts.
yeah, and it was, I knew I didn't want the W in it because W's
Yeah.
are cool, but I don't respect them enough to fork out the money that it takes to build one.
They are not cheap.
Yep. So that's when I decided to go with the Y block, and they did some
Yeah.
things to that firewall to fit the W, and
Okay.
they just kind of cut and filled. They didn't shape anything, so
Yeah.
it
Just to
looked
make it
very
work.
pieced together. So
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to start over on the firewall, and then all of their bead rolling on the floors was all in one direction. So the floors were an accordion. If I ever, they were all
Oh
going
yeah.
side to side. There were none going front to back. So God forbid
Okay.
anything ever happens, the whole car
Yeah.
is just accordion at that
Just
point.
gonna
It's
fold
gonna
up.
crumple. And
Yep.
so I cut all the floors out, and as I'm cutting the floors out, they plug weld all the floors down, which that's the way to do it if you don't have a spot
Okay. Yeah.
welder.
Right.
So, but as I'm cutting it out, I'm noticing that most of the plug welds that I'm cutting out with my belt sander aren't even penetrating into the structure. So
Yeah.
I took my air hammer and I start popping plug
Yeah.
welds, and the whole floor just
Uh-huh.
folds up. And I like didn't
It
even
was
get
all
to
under tension.
I didn't even get to the last two rows, and I just
Yeah.
grabbed it and folded it, and all of the plug welds just ping, 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 ping. And
Oh,
I was
wow.
like,
Easy,
that's not
easy
good.
work,
Yeah.
but not great.
Yeah.
Not good to
So
leave that way.
I'm glad that I started over with the floors, but
Yeah.
so now I changed the windshield opening. I shortened the
Okay.
header above the windshield 3/4 of an inch. So
Yeah.
that opened up the windshield frame because the thing looked like it just had a massive forehead.
Yeah, they have a big forehead when they're.
Yeah, so
Which
I
looks
shortened.
okay on a full height roof, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, when you
Start
chop them, it
thinking-
looks even bigger.
Yeah.
Your
Looks silly, proportionally
yeah,
dumb.
your proportions go way off.
Yeah.
So changed the windshield opening, changed the floors, built a whole new firewall for it, changed the back window opening. I have
Yeah.
to re-chop the doors because they're welded back together in the wrong shape. Like some
okay.
of them are kind of doing this.
Oh,
So,
I see. Like if you were to
I
look
need to-
from the front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to cut them and straighten them out. But I got the main bellies of the doors are all metal worked, body worked, and primed. That's why
Okay.
the the one door is a different colors because it's actually in primer. The rest of it's just in epoxy.
Okay.
I cut out all the steering and went from it's actually still a reverse Corvair box, but with the Y block, they have an external oil pump. So that's right where your steering box needs to go. So cut the steering box mounts off, moved it inside so it has cowl mount steering now. And doing cowl mount steering, you have to add so much more bracing inside of it.
You have to make all kinds of structure.
And then, I'm working with the biggest car ever, so moving the steering inside and then putting a manual in it with all the pedals. And I didn't want the master cylinder or the slave cylinder on the outside of the firewall, so I decided to put those in the dash.
Now you're doing a bunch of trigonometry in there.
Yeah.
Make it all fit.
The bottom side of that car is, or the underside of that dash is very busy.
That's cool to me when I stick my head in a car and see all that stuff going on under there, and that's like an engineering project to make it all fit and be comfortable to use.
Oh, and that's my buddy George. He wants to build. He's always been kind of shied away from the coupes and the pickups because he's worried about space. For how much he wants to drive, he likes room.
Right.
And so he's always been like, oh, the cabin area is just so small. And then I talk to him every day. He gets photos of the Model T every night. And the night that I got my seat mounted and my pedals were hanging, he was like, maybe I want to build a coupe now. He's like, that thing has a lot of room. Like when I'm sitting
once you clean it out and start from a clean slate, you can
you put your seat wherever the heck you want.
Need them. Yeah.
But when I'm sitting in it, so I actually want to build roll down quarter glass.
Oh,
because when I'm sitting in
I know what you're gonna say too.
Yeah, that
your arm comes out the back window.
It wants to hang out that back window. That's where I'm most comfy. So that's something in the works that's going to come further down the road. Right now, like with winter coming up, going into storage, my main goal was to get all of the major metal work finished, get all the holes filled up so I can get it in epoxy before it goes to storage.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I want to protect all the metal work that I had done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's got the SoCal front end. It's got the most expensive friggin' front brakes that I could find, because I noticed they're Pete and Jake's finned backplate disc brakes. Because I still want it to be a driver, so that's why I put disc brakes on the front of it. I know there's gonna be somebody out there, drum brakes work just fine. You just got to tune them. Well, I don't want to have to deal with that.
I've seen guys go either way.
Yeah, and that's
and they still get let in.
I noticed. So I noticed walking through car shows that something that I didn't like about disc brakes was the way that the rotor looked on the front. For how busy it is up front, it was too much space of a smooth area. Something that drew your eyes right away.
And it's one thing that you would immediately notice as, this is different.
Yeah. So I found these fin backing plate front brakes and decided to go with those. And this car has been everything I've always built has been, we need to get this done before the season starts. This car is my slow down, let's see what you can actually do. So along with
exercise.
Along with the seeing what I can actually do, there's no point in doing that if you're going to pinch pennies everywhere. So if you think something is
everywhere.
Yeah, if you think something is cool, you just got to go with it. If you want to build something to the next level and push yourself, that's where you got to go.
And that's what I definitely see what you're doing with that, especially the way you say, like, I want to do it a little bit better than I think everyone else is doing it, and you're sticking to that. Like,
mindset. I don't know if I'm doing it better than anybody else, but or better than everybody else, but I'm definitely doing it to the best quality that I've ever done.
Yeah, and maybe you see it a different way than everybody else. You're trying to put your vision out there.
Yeah, and I think the longest I've ever worked on any other car between like build seasons has been maybe 5 months. Like everything that I build is really, we gotta go. Like it comes in, excuse me, it comes in like right before Halloween, and then first show is first week in May typically. Yeah. And usually I have two cars going at once, and it's go time. Winter is go time.
You're like, what's this year's car? What's next year's car?
Yep. So that's why this one I'm not afraid to say it's going into storage for this winter.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt either to have the ongoing project that people can follow along with, and you can give more detailed reports on what you're doing and that kind of thing.
And when you get sick of working on it, it's not forcing yourself. Okay, if I don't do this tonight, it's gonna put me behind. That's
a great point.
Okay, I've been on it for 2 months now. I'm getting a little sick of looking at it. It's going to storage. And then once it comes back out next spring, I'm refreshed, ready to turn some wrenches again.
Yeah, it makes good sense.
Yeah, the same time I was building that 48, I was actually repainting 57 Bel Air black of all freaking colors. Four-door Bel Air.
I believe I have it on my screen right now.
Yeah, that's my buddy Dave's car. He saw my truck after I painted that, and he's like, "I want you to paint my car." Actually, he had me do
praise, especially a black car.
I know. And when he told me he wanted me to paint, so he had me come fix some other shoddy body work on the driver's side quarter and driver's side rear door. Somebody had some Walmart Bondo in it that was all cracked out, and it just didn't look good. So he's like, "Can you just come over and fluff it up for me? Spray some single stage on it. I just want it shiny and I want it black. I want to get rid of this bottle." And
makes sense.
After I did that, and that was a weekend job. I got down there at like, I think I got to his house at like 10:30 on a Friday night, and I left Saturday night. Like that's how fast I did the body work, painted it, and got out of there. And he messaged me like a week later, and he's like, "Dude, the quarter and the door look too good. You need to repaint the rest of the car now." And I was like, "That's just
okay. You just did the back end. I see."
I'm like, "Brother, that's just single stage. Like that's nothing fancy." And he's like, "Well, I don't care. Can you single stage the rest of the car?" And I was like, "I mean, I guess." And then I ended up stripping the entire car all the way down to bare metal. And then I'm an idiot, and I talked him into going with a metallic black. And if you go metallic, typically you're switching to a base clear. Now I'm body working the whole car. It's no longer single stage, and he's just smiling and nodding and letting me talk myself into it. And
sounds like it.
And that car got out of hand. It was supposed to be just scuff it down and paint it shiny, but
well, if you do a good job on a black paint job, it's a good little rolling advertisement for you too.
I got my way a little bit though, because when I picked out the color, he's like, "You know what I like." He goes, "As long as it's some shade of black, I don't care." Then after I was done with it, it had like it nicked the front edge of the door, and he's like, "Hey, I got to buy a touch-up pen for the car. What's the color code on this?" And I said, "It's Ford Diamond Black." He's like, "You painted my Chevy a Ford color?"
You said any shade of black, man.
Hey, Ford makes the best colors. What can I say? That was.
Hey, man. I don't care where the color came from as long as I like it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was blessed with is the shop that I work for recently just switched. They switched paint companies. We switched from PPG to
Okay.
Sherwin-Williams, so we got
Okay.
all new chip decks at work.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my boss was like, "Hey, we're gonna throw all these old ones away. If you want them, you can have them." And I was like,
Oh,
"Heck yeah, I'll
okay.
take them."
Yeah.
So I have a whole cabinet full of
Huh.
chip decks of every color from like
Oh, wow.
1996, 2023. So yeah,
Hey, that's kind of cool to have.
there's probably 10,000 colors on my wall right now in these swatches. So it's
Yeah.
like I'll have people come over. Oh, I'm looking for a color for this. I was like, well, you know where the decks
Yeah.
are. Like,
Pick
go
it
check them
out.
out. Yep.
Yeah. Pretty soon you'll be building a whole car around a paint color.
Uh, I I've had my color picked out for this car.
Oh, yeah.
About
Is it a secret?
no, because
Okay.
it's changed like
Oh.
7 times.
What is it today?
My latest one is actually a brown. There's two sets
Okay.
of valve covers up in my window.
Yeah.
Um, I told myself that I didn't want to paint it a metallic or a pearl. I wanted to paint it some color that looks like it could have been painted that
Yeah.
color way back when.
Yeah.
But then there was this like a root beer brown that I absolutely
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with, and the
Yeah.
chip deck. So the chip deck was in a book, and the book is super like it's got paint splattered all over it. It's all
Oh, yeah.
dusty and covered in overspray. So when I'm looking at the
Cool.
book, it looked like it was a solid color. But then
Mm.
when I pulled the formula up at work, it
Yeah.
was pearl this, pearl that, metallic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got that
And
root beer.
I was already like I already had my cup on the scale. I was only mixing
Yeah.
like 2 ounces of it to spray some
Uh-huh.
valve covers, and I was like, heck it, I'll spray these
Yeah,
valve
man.
covers. And as soon as I sprayed the first coat on, I went.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
You're
gonna do exactly
sold.
what I want to do. I'm gonna paint it a
Yeah.
pearl.
Hey, this is the spare no expense build, right?
Yep. Well, and it's not even a cost. It's just an era thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I
but
don't think
who?
it doesn't fit either. I think it's definitely like plausible.
Yeah, but for where for where the car is, I've already
Yeah.
changed the color so many times. It'll change 7 more times by the time I actually paint
Yeah.
it. That's I
Yeah.
paint. I've painted 2 sets of valve covers. I've painted 3 skateboards. Like just doing,
Just to
just
get
doing.
some bigger
Yeah.
sections to
So
look at.
I want my idea in my head when I choose these colors is I want to spray
Yeah.
something that we can hang on the wall and stare at.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Give it a little time.
yeah, I've got all the skateboards sitting on my toolbox. I've got the valve covers on
Yeah.
my window. I painted a 28 Model A grill that's leaning up against my compressor room
Yeah.
door. I've
Yeah. That
got
definitely helps.
yep.
You have it
And
in
having
the air and you
access to
walk
all
by it
this.
every day.
Yeah, for having the access to be able to spray something basically on demand is
That's pretty
a
huge.
good perk to have.
Yeah. Perks of the job.
Yep.
Oh man. I think we're pushing up on an hour here talking.
Yeah, we're at an hour and 20 seconds right now.
Okay, well, for people listening's sake, is there anything else you want to talk about as far as like events, what you're working on, something you're looking forward to, something you want to say to other young dudes or anybody out there that thinks they want to try this stuff?
Uh, I guess a little maybe I don't know if you call it inspiration or whatever. Maybe my
Yeah,
Miyagi quote. Um,
call it that.
like don't be afraid to get into it. Like it you don't have to have a big shop like this or the most tools. I started with
Yeah,
a $200 welder that I bought off Facebook Marketplace, a grinder, and a set of Craftsman sockets. Like
yeah.
it doesn't take as much as you think to get into it. And
And you
there's
don't have to know everything.
No, YouTube, dude.
Yeah.
Everything that I have built is off of YouTube. Stay off the
YouTube
Facebook pages.
University.
Stay off the Facebook pages
Yeah.
because guys are just gonna burn you. So
Yeah.
like, if you post something on a Facebook page that's not your own Facebook page, somebody's
Yeah.
gonna say they could have done it better. So
Negative Nancy's.
yeah, take what other people have with a grain of salt and
Yeah.
just do it. Just friggin' do it.
Yep. 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 I'm there with you. Good advice.
Yeah.
Where can people find you and follow you on the internet?
So I have a Facebook page. It's Hopeless Hot Rods, and then Instagram is Hopeless Hot Rods, and the Ham. I also have a profile
Oh, yeah.
that's called Hopeless Hot Rods, and
Oh,
whenever I'm working on the tee, I try to post on the Ham every 2 weeks, and
okay, cool.
the thread is called the Hopeless Tee.
All right on. Well, I'm glad I got you on here. You're my first guy,
Woo!
and I've had fun talking with you, and want to thank you for being on here.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, that's going to wrap up the episode for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the talk me and Cameron had, and hope you feel a little bit inspired by it. And if nothing else, I just want these stories to be out there. Some of these guys you may have never heard of, and that's kind of the point of this. So come back for the next one. We'll do something similar to this. Let me know what you think about it. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Download, follow the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. And I will catch you next time on the 64 and Before show. See ya.